Buongiorno from the beautiful city of Napoli, and this is
The Handbag Husband.
the Handbag Husband. Yay! So today, on one of the earlier parts of our trip to Italy, I think what we want to talk about is one of the big questions that many people have in the purse forums, in the purse blogs, just kind of even we get asked normally, which is what is it like? Is it even possible to get those quota bags, so Kelly, Birkin, Constance, or non-quota bags, maybe Roulis bags or other ones, or even Constance, depending on where you're at. And so we thought I'd do a video today talking a little bit about what is the unique experience of going to Hermes, going to the boutiques here in Italy. Now, of course, if you like these videos, if you like the content, if you like the conversation, if you like the bag candy, please don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help the channel to grow. And again, we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
But also because you'll get notifications when our newest videos come out. Right now, let's get down to the video. So let's talk a little bit about whether you can get a quota bag or a non-quota bag, a quimby or a non-quimby here in Italy, because it is a little bit different than the other parts of Europe, and it's definitely very different than the US of A, where it's kind of a different dynamic for people who are not obviously Italian. So the question is obviously, can you get a quota bag or can you get a non-quota bag? Will they even offer it to you in Italy? And I think the answer is yes and no, and then yes. I think that it is definitely possible because we ourselves on multiple occasions have been able to get quota bags as well as non-quota bags in Italy. And the thing is that it's just confusing because there's no specific like set guidelines as far as who can get it, when they're going to offer it, when they're not going to offer it. But for folks who are from the US or from outside of Italy or outside of Europe, you know, Australians, Americans, Canadians, there's the added difference, and I guess Asians too, there's the added difference of are you local or are you not local? So let's talk about the local, non-local thing first real quick. So the way that they consider folks who are local are obviously people who are literally local. So they have an address, they live here, they can get mailing stuff, and they have like an Italian passport and ID and those kinds of things. So they count those folks as literal locals. But then there are folks who are what we're calling like pseudo-locals. And I think we fall into that category as well. And these are people who...
You wish to be a local.
One day. But pseudo-locals are folks who are here often. They put in the FaceTime, they put in the dollars or the euros, and they visit oftentimes so that their SAs do recognize them. And they oftentimes, after you buy a couple things and you show up a couple times, they can offer you things that they usually don't offer the non-locals, right? So non-locals are people who are just showing up. They're like, here I am, can I get a bag? So for quota bags specifically, I think our experience has been that for locals, obviously that's something that they do offer. I know we've had multiple SAs say, hey, if you are a local, the doors are open to you. Although I don't think the locals take advantage of it as much as a lot of the foreign tourists who come in. For the pseudo-locals, again, we've been offered quota bags before, specifically here in Italy. And I think that if you put in the time and the energy and the money, that's definitely there.
We got a quota bag as a walk-in before.
Yes.
So that's why I say yes and no, and then yes, maybe.
I guess it's a fair point too. So there are times where we got offered a quota bag, like an untouchable unicorn quota bag, just off the street. And that was, I think, rare, and I don't think that happened. That's the only time that's ever really happened to us. But as far as non-quota bags go, I think those are actually relatively easy to get. I know we've been offered non-quota bags in Italy. We got the Roulis ostrich white one, as well as we were offered the Silk City this time in Napoli. Yeah, but we've often been different Kelly clutches and pochettes and things like that. So we've been offered quite a bit of non-quota bags, things that are not, even Constances as well. Yeah, we've got Constance, which I guess is a quota bag here in Italy. But so that definitely does happen. But I think some of it is if you can work your way into being that pseudo-local, then you have a really good chance to get an opportunity at some of the really hard to get non-quota bags, as well as some of the quota bags. The other thing that's really confusing and frustrating and sort of beneficial, because it kind of feels like you win the lottery, is that each of the stores treat it differently. Like Rome will treat foreigners very differently than Napoli or Florence.
I think it's because of the amount of tourists.
Yeah.
There is way more. Obviously, Florence right now is really busy. But yeah, in general, Rome takes way more tourists.
Yeah, I think Rome is similar to like Paris or even like a New York, where you know what, I think they realize and expect to have a huge influx of tourists,
Yeah.
and so they work with them a little bit more than if you go
or
to...
have a rule to like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the default rule to it.
Yeah, they have like a guidelines on how they should do it.
Correct.
I think they definitely do in there.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other cities are more like, no, if you don't live here or you're not a pseudo foreigner,
Pseudo
local, yeah. And obviously pseudo local is kind of rough because they won't let you buy anything unless you've bought something before, but they won't let you buy anything if you haven't bought anything before. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta...
But again, it's not always 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we've come in, gotten a super quota bag with no purchase history, like super.
Ultra.
We'll do one for that
Yeah.
here in the not so distant future, and that really what started Handbag Husband, really honestly. But we'll get to that in our origin story. So. I think that the only really big difference in Italy from the US is there is that local policy, although it's still similar. If you go to Las Vegas, they have a local policy. If you go...
They basically like tell like, go back to your local
Yeah,
store.
they're like, oh, go back to your local store to add to your purchase history. But again, you can become a pseudo-local if you spend some time or if you go to Vegas often. So I think there's that too. So is it different? Yeah, I think there is difference to it in the sense that those barriers are a little bit higher. But in some ways, we have advantages as non-locals over some of the locals too. So.
But do you think the quota bag is easier to get in Europe?
I think quota bags are easier to get a load. From our previous experience, our personal experience, I think quota bags actually are easier. They're not easy, but they're easier than if you went to Beverly Hills or if you went to the Crystal Palace shop or if you went to Crystal shop or if you went to, you know, I don't know, San Jose or San Francisco or wherever.
Yeah.
South Coast Plaza.
So close.
Yeah.
South Coast, for sure.
Yeah. So the big question is, can you actually get a quota bag or a non-quota bag in Italy? And the answer, of course, is going to be yes. You definitely can because we've gotten both. And I think it's a two-tiered yes, though. So the first yes is for those folks who are able to put in the time, the energy, the face time, the money to actually do it. So if you go to your boutique in Napoli or in Rome or in Florence or Milan or whichever one you go to often, maybe once, twice, 3 times a year, then those quota bags get real, and non-quota bags get real easy to get, or at least easy in comparison to back home in the United States where it's just, you know, it's a fist fight in a closet. It's just so competitive. The second tier, yes, is going to be for those folks who just kind of show up and get lucky, because you definitely can get lucky, and we've been in those situations as well, as where you show up to a boutique and you just kind of shoot your shot, and they say, hey, you know what? We actually do have something for you. So that happens.
But most of the time, it's going to be a no.
I mean, yes, of course, the odds are always against you. It's almost always going to be a no, but it's less of a no in Italy than it is pretty much anywhere else that we've been. I don't know, I can't speak for Australia or Canada or Asia, but I know specifically here it's easier to get a non-quota bag or a quota bag than back in Los Angeles. On the positive side, especially coming from the US, I mean, the dollar is worth just so much more money than it had been previously. So it goes a long way, and it puts you in a kind of an automatic higher tier class as far as how much money you can spend on the bags over some of the other, some of the other countries. And then lastly, of course, as a US citizen, you get the VAT tax back. So, you know, you get a pretty healthy discount depending on where you're at and how much they offer, anywhere between, I don't know, what is it, the difference, like 10 to 20%?
10 to like maybe 18.
Yeah, so you get that back as well, which, I mean, again, means you can spend more dollars and get more of that money
But
back.
you still
So.
did pay some of it when you enter the US.
Yes, there's the duty tax or whatever that is going back in. So yeah. So I mean, I think overall, is Italy a great place to get a quota bag? And would we consider coming back? And is it something we can consider doing? Yes, of course, because we're in that kind of first group of people of the yes, saying yes, we come back here oftentimes, so it makes sense for us. But then again, if you were someone who just came one time, I would still say yes, because it is. But I just think overall, tends to be a little bit easier than back home. That's been our experience. All right, so that's it for our can you get a quota bag or non-quota bag here in Italy? The quimby or the non-quimby. And really, I hope that you enjoy this video. And if you do, if you like the conversation, if you like the bag candy, if you like the overall, oh man, so much bag candy.
Right
yeah, we got lots of bags. Just right over there is a bag candy. You can see all the people waiting for it. But if you like those videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel to grow, and we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
But also because it means you get notifications and updates when our newest videos come out. So with that, ciao. And this is...
The handbag, sorry.
Let's try it again. This guy's loud. Well, as...
Yes, correct.
Alright, so what should I pick up?
I don't know. Can you say that again? Alright.